Hey guys, Marcel here, and we talked to Vizicsacsi after a pretty, I would say, convincing win against Origen 2-0. How do you feel about that? How was the preparation going into this game?
It wasn't different than before, it's just the results came this time, so I'm really happy about it.
Nothing
Yes.
else?
Well,
Maybe talk a bit about the games, how they went.
they went as kind of we expected. We got early leads and we could just pursue our advantage, get vision control, and we did like better than in the weeks before when we got ahead. However, in the second game, we slacked a bit at the end and we nearly gave them a comeback. So that's not. I'm not too satisfied with that one, but the early game was good in that too.
So, what's your take actually on like Origin's struggle? I think them as a team, I would like to compare them as the Jin Air of Europe. They have like a pretty shaky early game, but in late game they can like manage to win games through their decision making, right? So, how does it feel to actually play against them? Do you think it's a lot harder to play them in the late game than it is in the early game?
Yeah, I would say so because they have a lot of experience through their players that have been in the scene for years and have played so many games that lasted hours long. So they are just really good at that. What I would say is a problem for them is even though they have like really wide champ pool, didn't really master champions. So you don't really have to be afraid of their champions, and I think that's a problem. For example, we didn't even expect them to pick anything in the first game, like what they picked. We didn't know they would go Swain, Cassidy, and Jin. We didn't expect this, and they just came. So it's a bit inconsistent, and they didn't even perform that good on these champions. So I would say that's a problem, because first you need to master a few champions, and then you can look to expand champion pool. That's what I think.
Okay, talking a bit about more about your team, right? So I've seen a lot of tweets during the game that Unicorn's map play is actually like really impressive. I think Jankos tweeted that out. Would you like to comment on that? How you achieved like, if we look at week one, Unicorns was like, all right, this is just Unicorns auto-relegated team, you know, all these comments, but you actually look like a pretty solid team, like, right? You have a good map play. How did you guys improve it from week one to like this week right now?
We screamed H2K, but well, we just tried to improve on that. We specifically looked into rotations and such in the first weeks and always pointed out where we could have rotated and such. We're also watching a lot of other regions, so when we see something new popping up in Korea or whenever, we just try to understand it fast and have it as a strength as well.
Yeah, talking a bit about more what you said earlier, like mastering a specific champion. I think you have been the master of like a lot of champions that aren't meta right now, like for example Ilaoi or whatever else, right? And talking to a lot of different top laners, I think people really told me it's like, yeah, who's good in the top lane right now? And they tell me like your name, right? So do you think you feel like a bit underappreciated from the community maybe, or a bit under the radar, or do you like playing as an underdog?
Actually, I'm not really watching comments from social media. I'm just focusing on improving this split, which is going way better than in the previous ones. And I'm also focusing on 4 or 5 champions only. So I'm just practicing those in solo queue as well. I'm spamming them and trying to master them. And in scrims play them as well. So it's a lot more coordinated in our team right now to which champions we play. We don't just randomly throw up an idea of playing a champion and say, I want to practice this in scrim. First we have to say why we want to do it. Why is it good in this meta? What is it good against? And we have to play solo queue with it as well. So it's a lot more coordinated.
Is there like a specific reason why it's more coordinated? Is there like a change in coaching stuff or style? Or maybe is it like a bit more serious right now? Is it maybe the Koreans even coming in and having like a different mindset? What is the change like? Because Unicorns was always as a team that just said, yeah, we're just gonna wing it. We're just gonna pick this champion, Na Jungle, or you know, whatever these kind of champions are, just because we wanna play it, right? But right now, you guys, like you said, you feel like a lot more, feels like a lot more constructed, right?
Yes, I think it's about being consistent, because when we were picking all over the place, going all over the place, we were testing out a lot of stuff, but we couldn't master it because we were testing out so much that it just didn't have the time and the amount of practice. So we realized it and decided to only focus on a few amount of champions and just play together. And synergy is more important than your champion pool.
Yeah, talking about synergy, one last question. How does it feel like to play actually with like Koreans? Is there like Do you think there's like a language of the game where specific players know how to play the game even if you don't speak like the same language? Is it like something like this with Move maybe? I mean, top lane jungle synergy. It's pretty important right now again, right, to have like top lane control with all these carries, right?
I would say we don't really have issues in that regard because Move's in-game communication is good. Like he knows all the words and it's easy to communicate with him. It's probably even easier than with others because we only say like 1 or 2 words, which is really fast and efficient. So in that regard, it's good. And about the synergy, I think when you put together like good players that know what they should do, it just comes naturally because you both know what's the best and you both aim for it. You can maybe talk about it in game, but most of the times it's not even necessary. You just know he's coming from behind and I need to go CC the enemy a bit and we can get the kill.
Yeah, that sounds pretty easy, I guess. All right, thank you so much for this interview. And if you guys want to check out more stuff, the theScore eSports app is available. Download it, watch our interviews, and see you guys next time.